let's hear from Brian in Grimsby, who can understand why people vote BNP. Let's hear from Brian. Go ahead, Brian.
Good evening, George.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm against racism, the same as most of the people probably that voted for these. I think it was a protest vote where people, the ordinary people in this country, are frightened of being second-class citizens. We've got that many influx of Eastern Europeans, and when town halls are frightened to fly their own Union Jack on St George's Day because it might offend some other nationality. No other country in the world is frightened to fly its own flag in case it upsets somebody else. If you can't fly the Union Jack in England, where can you fly it?
Well, that's just a crock, Brian, isn't it? I mean, every single thing you said there was false, and it may be that you don't know that. It may be that you're just a particularly stupid man, but let me set you right on a few things. First of all, there's nobody complaining about any town hall flying the Union Jack. Nobody at all.
The papers, then?
Well, no, but you read the wrong papers, you see. You read the gutter. You read the gutter press, which has played such a role in poisoning the minds of fools like you and marching you out to vote for these kinds of parties.
No, I haven't voted for them.
These kinds of parties. I don't know.
I haven't voted for them, and I don't agree with their things.
Well, but you're on the radio, you're on national radio, repeating their lies and their falsehoods. There is no ethnic minority. I defy you to provide a scrap of evidence that any ethnic minority in this country has ever objected to any town hall.
A typical thing the school my children go to cancelled the nativity play because it might upset Muslim children or other...
Well, it may be that you're telling the truth.
It's ridiculous.
Brian, it may be that you're telling the truth, or it may be that you're lying, but I can assure you there is no ethnic minority ever called for the cancellation of a nativity play.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. That's just another lie.
Haven't. It's not the ethnic minorities. They're not against it. The Evening Grimsby, the Muslims said, we're not against it. You should have the nativity. It's the English people that are in charge.
Well, why are you blaming?
They're the ones that are wrong.
But why are you blaming the ethnic minorities?
I'm not blaming the ethnic. No, I'm not blaming it.
Yes, you are. You talk about inundating the country with Eastern
English people.
Well,
it's the English people that are wrong.
Well, look, Brian,
not the ethnic minorities.
Well, I don't know why you keep mentioning Muslims, because you actually started talking about an influx of East European immigrants.
I'm talking general influx.
Well, no, you're talking general rubbish, but it's the point that your scattergun approach. 1 minute you're talking about East Europeans, then you're segueing into Muslims, which is really what's at the heart of your call, and you're such a coward, you've run away from the telephone so that we can't continue this debate. Here's a BNP party member, Terry, in Sittingbourne. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, George.
Hi.
Yeah, the reason why people voted for the BNP is because of their immigration policy. They want to close the door. And
how
they're
could
not
they do
against...
that, though,
wait
Terry?
a minute. They're not all against...
Terry,
yeah.
we'll have a proper conversation.
Yeah, okay.
How could the BNP do that?
Oh, they'd make their policies, won't they? They'll close the door on immigration, stop immigration.
But you can't.
Yes, they can. If they're the government, they can.
Well, no, unless they're going to leave the European Union.
Yes, that's right. That's
okay.
what they're going to do, is leave the European Union.
Okay, and
right.
Then what, Terry? Where are we going to go then?
Right. What they do then is they still trade with Europe. They can still trade. You don't have to give up your trade. But they're not against all black people or foreigners, because those that are working in this country now and they got jobs, they will be allowed to stay in the country. The people that they're going to put out, and this is where the myth is you put about, they're going to let the people stay in the country who are working. Those who are illegal immigrants and bogus asylum seekers, they're the ones they're going to send back home.
You're going to put them in trucks, cattle trucks?
Well, no, you just put them out of the country, like they would do now, but only at a quicker rate.
Are we going to round?
And that's why.
Listen.
Going to round them up, Terry? Well, the police will, won't they?
The police will round
Police or the army.
We're beginning to get your
But the thing is, can I just ask you a question?
The police or the army will be rounding up people of colour. We've got that.
No, they won't be rounded. They won't be rounding them up in the way you're saying.
You just said it.
No,
the police
they
or
won't
the
be
army.
rounding them up. But
You
listen,
just said, and you're a BNP party member, that the police or the army will round them up. You just said it. I could play it back to you if you like.
seekers are. The bogus asylum seekers will be, and they'll be.
Well, how are you going to tell? Will it be, as Nick Griffin said, because of how they look?
They know who the bogus.
Terry, if they knew who the bogus asylum seekers were, they'd already be out, my dear. Now, Nick Griffin says that you can tell by looking at them. That's right, isn't it?
No.
That's your view, isn't it,
No,
Terry?
the Labour Party don't seem to have no control on immigration.
Well,
neither do the Tories. But another question I wanted to ask.
No, but before we leave that one, it's illegal to stop people from the European Union entering this country, just as it's illegal to stop the more than 1 million British workers who are working in other people's European Union countries. The only way that you could stop that is by leaving the European Union under a BNP government. You think that the European Union will continue to do business as usual with a BNP British government that has just withdrawn from Europe? I put it to you that that's cloud cuckoo land, Terry.
Well, we will go back to trade with New Zealand.
That's the future then. We're going to trade with the tiny market of New Zealand.
Serious point.
Terry, we've got it now. The police or the army are going to round up the people of colour. We're going to leave the European Union, and we're going to deal with the inevitable retaliation from the European Union by trading with New Zealand. Don't you understand that your level of economic and political illiteracy is matched only by your venality? Are you a BNP supporter, Derek?
That's completely irrelevant, George.
Well, it might not be relevant, but it's a fair question, and the fact that you've given me the answer you've given me, you've really told me that you are.
But just going on to something which is relevant, I mean, when you think now we've got 6 million 16 to 24-year-olds out of work, people are working longer hours, there's more anxiety, there's more kids living below the poverty line. I wouldn't put that all on immigration, obviously not. It's this stupid government. But the benefits aren't there no more. It was in the past, I grant you, but I think we've come to a watershed now where we've got 65 million here.
No, we've got under 60 million here.
No, the illegals, about 5 million.
No, there's not 5 million illegals. That's racist. That's racist trash.
Oh, I'm a racist.
That's racist trash. Well,
I've got a stopwatch here, and my missus in the other room. She says, "I'll give it 1 minute before he calls you."
Well, it was 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah, well, you are a racist and you are a BNP supporter, but you just don't have the guts. You just don't have the guts to say so.
Sure.
Well, where's your evidence? There's 5 million illegal immigrants in Britain.
George, I wish I had your superhuman powers. You can tell who I vote for.
I'm pretty certain who you vote for. But why don't you tell me where you got that figure of 5 million illegal immigrants?
George, you are disgraceful.
I'll tell you where you got it.
Yeah,
you got it from the BNP.
Oh, here we go.
Because that's exactly the figure that they use. And they don't give any evidence to support it either.
You insulted the last guy.
How do you know that there are 5 million illegal immigrants in Britain? Where do you get that from?
How do you know there's not?
Well, we might as well say there's 20 million then, because by definition, neither you nor I can know how many people are here illegally.
Let me give it my thought on it. I mean, illegal immigration, that's really quite irrelevant. It's a quarter of a million.
I told you that the population was less than 60 million, and you said it was 65 million.
It's about 65,
and when I pointed out that you were wrong, you said there were 5 million illegal immigrants in Britain. Now, what's your evidence to support that?
Well, everything is evidence for you. Let me tell you something. The government says there's about 2 million. Anything they would say...
The government have not said it's about 2 million. The government have said what is plainly logical to say, that no one can know how many people are here illegally. By definition, if you knew that they were here illegally, well, you'd have thrown them out by now. He asks ID cards, why not? Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, George, you're talking rubbish again, George.
Well, tell me why.
Because, well, they're a great idea, I think, because stops all these foreigners coming in.
But how does it stop them coming in? How? You've just heard from Vic in Dorking that you don't actually apply for the ID card until you're already here. So it doesn't stop anybody coming in, Keith.
It does.
How does it? How?
Because if they haven't got an ID card, they can't come in, can they?
Don't be stupid, man. You don't get the ID card until you're already in. Can't you see that?
Well, no.
You don't get your ID card unless you're here. So you're already in when you apply for your ID card.
George, you don't like... You're anti-Britain, and you don't like...
Keith, you're just being an idiot. Don't you understand you don't apply for the ID card until you're already in?
Look, George.
You don't get the ID card unless you're already in. So by definition, it cannot possibly stop someone coming in.
Or what about the people in here already? So if they want to use the doctor, and the doctor asks them, have you got your ID card? No, then they can bugger off back to, Zimbabwe, where they come from,